The two Lexus TechStream events both happened around 5:20 a.m. Here is a Commonwealth's exhibit showing 1162, but also showing 50 key cycles missing from 1112 to 1161. There's also no data for key cycle 1163. Here it is cleaned up, and 1162 is two events, but one odometer reading for both, and the hour-and-a-half long Dighton drive had 10 events, and the same odometer reading for all 10 events, because all 12 of these events, both key cycles, were spinouts in the snow. The Commonwealth has to shove the 1162 into the infotainment system clock. They had two to choose from, the midnight or the 5 a.m. driving session. Both options can work, but 5 a.m. just works better. The reality is the midnight drive was key cycle 1161. The infotainment session starts around 5 a.m. and goes to about 5:40 a.m. It's important to know there can be two key cycles during an infotainment session. As long as the infotainment isn't turned off, but the car is ignited twice, you get two ignitions, which accounts for key cycle 1162 and 1163. When we look at Karen's driving, we see she left the house about 5:08 after bumping into the Chevy, and then she's driving for 7 minutes back and forth, and she's caught on the city cameras. Not long after she's seen on the camera, she gets a call from Jennifer McCabe, and then we had the first trigger event. The weather is much worse at 5 a.m. than it was at midnight, so if she loses traction, it makes sense. Then she is in a panic right after and calls John 6 times in 5 minutes. She appears to be staying put and just calling him, and then she moves and has a second spin out and then calls him 7 times in 3 minutes. After the second spin out, Karen might have restarted the car, or Jen McCabe might have restarted the car once she takes over driving from Karen after Karen drives to Jen McCabe's house. Either way, that's key cycle 1163, a second start without turning off the infotainment. The Commonwealth's accounting of the odometer doesn't work either. 12/6/29, she still has to drive 2 miles back to Meadows at 12:30 at night, then 7 miles driving around in the morning looking for John. Because the 1164 drive took an hour and a half, one could assume they stopped at Mansfield for 33 miles total. The Commonwealth's theory is 6 miles too many. So it makes more sense that the 1162 odometer reading happened about halfway through the 7-mile 5 a.m. trip. So we just add those miles to the 33-mile Meadows-Mansfield-Dighton trip. The mileage does work out. In the snow, the weather in general is much worse at 5 a.m., causing these type of spinouts.